You've learned the basic of psychology. You have learned some very, very basic introductory stuff that is going to be very effective. You might think, what is going on? This is not a big deal. But trust me, it's a very big deal when you combine all these things together. If you're enjoying so far and you want to learn more about trading, like the biggest, the longest explanation in trading, even if you're a beginner, then you can check out this course that I do have. And if you want to buy it, of course, I can even give you some discount. If you want to get a discount, message me on Discord. And also, speaking of Discord, check the link in the description and you can click on Discord. But this is important for me to kind of promote myself a little bit. But the thing is that on the Discord, I do have Atom Trades, which is my private place, and I use my own technique to buy and sell coins. And it's a paid one, 20 USDT every single month. So you can scroll down to the description of the video to check the Discord link, or I'm going to leave the link at the end of the video and you can do that. So if you're starting out and you kind of need someone to help you out with the trade, and I can do the whole heavy lifting for you, you pay a little bit and you get to enjoy those trades that we're having, because a lot of the members are actually enjoying so much so far. Then you can be a part of it. No one is stopping you to be a part of it. You can give us a shot, try us out. I'm doing pretty good actually on the private. But right, what made me buy Peanut? Do you remember the previous video? Why did I buy Peanut even though it went to the downside? Right, candlesticks, RSI, and support and resistance. Let's do a whole lot of example. Let's do so many examples, right? Number one, the 4-hour time frame looks like this, right? And to open up the RSI, all you have to do is double click the pattern itself, and you will have the RSI opened up. Now, for example, Peanut here went to the downside, and it was where did it go down to? Do you remember the RSI rule that we had? It was right down over here. You can see this was we have this upper line and then we have the lower line. For example, if I take my brush, so if I do take the brush here, this is your upper line and this was your lower line. This normally is the best place for buying the prices, and this is normally the best place to do what? To actually sell the prices. And it's pretty simple. So we did actually use the very basic of support and resistance. So we can actually even go on, and I'm just going to put it back into the place. All right, I'm going to zoom out here and let's draw resistance. So this was where the prices were rejected. This is your resistance, the best place to buy, to sell, and then the best place to buy. So we've recognized support and resistance. Right now, where is Peanut? Peanut is at the support level, right? It's at support level. Maybe you could go on and try to book in a trade. And what is the RSI doing? The RSI is a little bit down, and we also have a little bit of a divergence. Do you remember when the prices are like a little bit flat and move to the upside? That's actually a divergence. You can actually go here to, I think it was on pip trading, where we could actually see we have almost an equal line, right? So this is almost like an equal line right over here. Right there you have the prices which are equal, and you have the RSI which is moving to the upside. So that's how the RSI is moving to the upside. So you're combining these things together on the 4-hour time frame. So all this combination of candles just to draw a support right over here. We're going to do some few more examples to try to recognize more and more support. Now I want to try to go on and recognize another support and resistance. For example, back in the day, we had another resistance. Now resistance doesn't have to be straight like this. Resistance also can be like this. Do you see that how many times you got rejected here? You got rejected with this resistance like that, right? And you got rejected multiple times again. And then support was something like this. And as I said before, whatever your support is, right? So this was your support right over here. Whenever you lose that support, it can actually turn into a resistance, right? So you lose this support, and when that support was lost, if I do try to, extend it, look what it did. It turned into resistance. That was your support. You had support. It broke down, and then it went up. It got rejected a couple of times, right? Now, for example, if Peanut right now was meant to go on and break the support, here it is. So I'm going to take in that trend line and drop it like that. So if you end up breaking the support for good like this and go down and lose it, it's going to turn into what? It's going to turn into resistance. But if you pump back up and you break that resistance, it's going to turn into a support. Now the question was, why did I enter peanut even though we had this one break to the downside? The reason was because of the divergence, right? We have 1 hour. Now I'm going to go into 1 hour. All right, listen up very, very carefully here. When you open up a higher time frame, for example, 4-hour time frame is a higher time frame, go down to a lower time frame of 1 hour or 15 minutes, right? From 4 hour down to 1 hour 15 minutes. Basically, these are some best combination time frame. So I'm going to try to explain as much as I can here. So 4-hour time frame, when you're on 4-hour time frame, you actually check the support, and then you go down to 1 hour, and then you go down into 15 minutes time frame, and you check the RSI of both of these things. So now, for example, in here, yes, the prices were moving down, but I'm going to bring in the RSI, and I want to show you what the RSI was doing. So let's go back into time. And do you remember how I was explaining to you about the RSI, that the prices are going down? Well, the prices were moving down. It was going down. It was going down. It was going down and down and down right over here, right? The RSI was going down and down and down right over there. So they were matching, right? The prices were down. The RSI was going down as well. But in here, the RSI started pushing up like that. The RSI was the one to turn around. And the prices, however, was still down, right? Let's put the highlight here. The prices went down. Can I zoom in here? Let's do that. Let's zoom in there. Yeah, we can zoom in there so that we can see clearly. Let's make this more and more clear. At the last point, now we're zooming in. We're zooming in into the details. The prices, the candles, you see, combination of candles, they went down. The RSI here started moving up. And that's why I said the RSI is not a definite buying signal. So for example, if you bought because it hit the rock bottom and you bought at the rock bottom, you would have been taken out. Your stop losses were going to be taken out. Wait for that divergence. Wait for the mismatch between the candle pricings and the RSI itself. That's when the actual magic happened. And do this again and again, you will win again and again. Simple. That's the most simplest thing you guys can ever do and trade to become successful. So the RSI divergence happened. This is known as what? This is known as bullish divergence. When you have the lower low coming down and the higher high, the RSI is moving up, that's bullish. That's when we buy. But if the prices are the opposite way, then that's another thing. You can study that if you want to get into the details. But I'm just going to leave this as simple as possible, right? And then you have your amazing good opportunity. You started going to the upside. Right now, what is going on? Let's actually see what's happening. So if I do zoom in here, you have some support going on. You still have some support here. What is the RSI doing? Actually, there is a divergence. It actually does look like a good time to buy. So you have the flat line going on and you have a little bit of that divergence. It is pretty clear you still have another bullish divergence. Could this be a potential winning trade? You could try, right? You could try. This is a good try. This can actually be a nice, good try. And also, let's do a few more examples on support and resistance so that we can get our concept much, much clearer. Another example, and I want you to stick with this one time frame. Start from the daily, right? When you're starting out, start from the daily. You may want to go and touch 8 hour, 4 hour, 1 hour. Don't do that. First of all, touch the daily, because the daily is beginner friendly, right? The daily can take a couple of time, and as I told you before that, the daily time frame is going to take 24 hours for one candle to be printed out. Let's get that very clear. It's a daily candle. So after every 24 hours, we're going to have one candle printed out. So it's going to take a lot of time, but it's much more solid for you when you go on the lower time frame. As I told you before, rule of thumb, start from the higher time frame and then go down to the lower time frame and check the RSI and the candles. So I'm starting off from the daily, then we're going to go down into the 4 hour time frame. Now, PayPay was a very good trade for me, and I made a video on the channel and I said that this is my best trade and a trade that has never really disappointed me, and it works most of the time, and it worked again, right? So I'm proving this. I'm backing up what I'm teaching you. This style is effective, and this is your support line. You have learned about support here. You have been touching. You made one touch, you were supported, and then you made another touch, you got supported. There was this one tiny touch as well right over there. So I'm just going to, maybe you can just put the support line a little bit more higher, like that, right? This is how the support line actually looks like. Okay, so when I saw the prices coming down, right? So these are the prices, they actually went down. How much did you go down? First of all, the Black Friday sale happened, 56%. Okay, so near 60%. And I saw after that 60%, do you remember the market cycle? It's down. The river has come down. It's not, it's actually safe now. So these are the checks that I did. Make sense? Everything is making sense now. So look at the prices. Always, you don't need to open up tradingview.com. Whatever coin you want to trade, by default, check, is it discounted 60% at least? And when it's done, do we have support over there? Just do this very basic two things. Start with this two. Boom. 50% of the problem is solved right there. Okay. So I have done my two checks, and now what do I do? Lower the time frame. Lower the time frame and introduce the RSI. So if I do introduce the RSI and I check the RSI, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the 4-hour time frame, and let's look at the 4-hour time frame. So here it is, and the prices back at that time, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that we can kind of check it out right over here. So this was back in 4th of November, and I did actually take the this call for PayPay, and you can see that the prices, when they were moving, they did made a little bit of divergence. So I want to zoom in into the details on the support line. So here's the support line, and that is where you have your support. So here's support number 1, support number 2. We're good. Support is good, right? We're done. All right, support is done. What about the RSI? The prices I saw, let's zoom in a little bit more. I want to keep zooming in because I want to focus on the highlight, so bear with me here. This is for you guys. I already know this. This is for you. I'm not bothered with zooming in. So the thing is, the prices are sideways. They were pretty much sideways at that time. The candles are pretty sideways. So look at the combination of all these candles. And the RSI was climbing up a little bit. We're good. And I took the entry. And when I took the entry, voila, it actually pumped up, and it was a very nice, good trade. Now, if you do even go down lower on the 1-hour time frame, now this is where we have multiple candles, multiple candles, right? So by every hour, you're actually opening up a new candle. So let's go back to 4th of November again, and let's look at what was happening with the prices during that time. So if I do go on here and I show you the prices, and I keep showing you here again, the 1-hour time frame was down like this, but this have a very, very big distance. So I would actually say the 4-hour time frame was what was very solid in this case. So yeah, daily and the 4-hour time frame is a very good combination. If you're looking at the 4-hour time frame, then tone down to 1-hour time frame. If you look at 1 hour, tone down to 15 minutes time frame. Just a very simple, stupid, lazy idea right there. Okay, bonk. Let's do bonk, another one that I've been talking about so many times, and this is on the daily time frame. Can you guess what's going on? I've already drawn the support and resistance right over here, and you can see that you pretty much can guess where I'm planning to buy bonk. You already know by now where I'm gonna buy bonk, right? It's simple. When it comes down to that support again, and it touches the support, and then it consolidates, I'm going to go down and I'm going to switch on the 4-hour time frame again. And when this 4-hour time frame is going to come in here, I'm going to turn on the RSI, and at that time in the future, I'm going to spot a divergence just as similar as this one right over here. So back in the day, let's say you're looking at the future, let's say bonk has come down. All right, oh yeah, bonk is now down, and I noticed that the price is a little bit on the straight line here, and then I noticed that the RSI is moving to the upside. Boom, take the entry. Simple. Okay, one more thing that I think is much better to do is to open up a blank, let's say Pepe for example, and let's try to recognize the best entries. Let's recognize where the best support really is. If I open up Pepe, first of all, as a beginner, I don't know where the support really is, right? So before I find the support, I want to use the Black Friday rule. Let's use the Black Friday rule, and let's actually draw 60 to 64% drop. So what is it going to be? On the left side, you have this measure stick. So you want to click on the measure stick, right, on the left side here. So you click on that, and whatever the top is, let's say this is the top for Pepe right now. We don't know if it's this the top, but if it drops down 60%, that's, let's say 61, 62, I think it's down at 984, or let's say 1000 or 1100. That's where you can, the 60%, the Black Friday sale just happened. And I take, first of all, let's put a blue horizontal line at that price. So I will say 950. I will try to now look for support. Do we have any support down here? Now I'm going to try to search for support. And if I noticed, I actually have this one beautiful trend line going on, and you do have a support. Do you notice that? So for example, if you end up dropping that 60% down here, look at that. It really takes you to 963, and that can be your best buy. Now what do I do next? All I do is I go down into the 4-hour time frame, and I will try to search for a bullish divergence, of course. So you're not just going to buy at that particular point. And by the way, if I do go on the daily time frame and I show you the daily time frame RSI, we're going to open up daily time frame, and you can see, you can also just draw a very simple line right over here. So this is the line for the best buying area. And by the time that you go down, imagine by the time that you go down, it's going to move lower and lower. And by the way, speaking of buying, let's talk about selling as well. Do you notice how the prices are moving up on the candles? So the prices are moving up, but the RSI is going down. So what does this tell you? This tells you the strength, the momentum. The quiz is, figure this out. Pause the video and ask yourself, what is this? What is this showing? Is this a good sign or a bad sign? Well, if you figured it out, it's a bad sign because the RSI is going down, and you don't want to see that, right? You want to see that the prices are moving higher, but there's no divergence going on. That's the divergence in simple word means there's no any mismatch. The price and the RSI are not mismatching with one another. They're not moving in opposite direction. In here, it's negative, but when you go down and the RSI is moving up, that's a positive sign. So not all divergences are bad. Bullish divergence, and this is a bearish divergence, of course. Now let's look at maybe two more examples so that I can really strengthen the concept here. One of the examples that we have is Nairo, and Nairo, you can see that on the daily time frame again we have the support that the prices were moving to the upside, and I have traded Nairo again, and again this still worked for me very well. And this right here is how support looks. So support cannot be a straight line. It's not necessary that it becomes a straight line. It is just when you recognize where the prices are bouncing off and you're getting supported. So number one, we had this sell off. This was like 45% Black Friday sale, which is not bad. And then we also had another Black Friday sale, which is another 45%, which is still not bad. And during this period of time, you had this one support, you had this one support, you had this another support right here, and then you had another support right over there. But unfortunately, you can see that this is for the first time we saw this support being broken. So when you pump back up, when you go back up, do you remember when I told you that now that you've broken support and you have gone down below the support, if you go back up here, it is going to be turned into a resistance, and you do have a threat to go down. And at that resistance, then you can end up putting a selling trade if you want to put a selling trade. So this is one example. Let's do another one. Alright guys, this is going to be the final one. Let's talk about Floki. And Floki is totally empty right now. So if you're a beginner, you can pause the video and you can try to really match up the concept that I've really taught you, and you can try to link up everything together. So number one is, I think this is resistance, right? You have resistance right over there, and the prices are getting rejected at this resistance, if you may notice. Now, but this is not resistance. All I want you to do is recognize support, and you don't know where support really is. So number one, Black Friday sale. Let's do 60% from the top here. So if you do go down 60%, it actually takes you to 11224. Okay, so take the trend line, and you can see already here at that particular price you already have support. Boom. Whenever Floki comes down there, try to put a trade, and then tone down to the 4-hour time frame, find a divergence, confirm the divergence, you're gonna win. Right? You're watching this video. Today is 18 December, and Floki is at 22,440. If Floki does come down to 1136 and it holds and you find divergence, you will win a trade. You will win. And it proves the point of this whole playlist. All right. The next best buying place for Floki, as I recognize, is down at 4312. This is the best place to buy Floki if this support does get lost. So you guys really have to be careful about support being lost. Right now we're in a bull run. It's actually hard to lose the support, but in a bear market, a lot of support gets lost, and that's when a downtrend is really happening. Okay, now this is the next best buying place, and that is 4422. And by the way, can we do this for fall from here to here? That's another 62%. That's 60%. Another Black Friday sale. Okay, if you lose this one, the next buying, a little bit of the next buying place, which is not very solid but still good enough, is actually down to 28 something, 2780. And if you do end up putting another trade down, that's like a 36%, not a very big Black Friday sale, but nonetheless you're still getting one nice good support right there. And the final best buying area is at the very bottom, right over here at the absolute floor, which is 1628. That's where you really have support. So you can take a bunch of coins, you can look at a lot of coins, and also try to check those coins and what they're doing, and try to recognize some support levels. And yes, in the next final video, let's talk a little bit about money management and risk money management, and that's going to be the end of this playlist. And I really wish you the best of luck with this idea, because it's going to work for you.